y'all, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, hi, I'm Melody, and on this channel I like to discuss fragrances every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If that's something you're interested in, I would love it if you would subscribe. Today I am sharing with you some Mugler fragrances that I've been trying out and seeing if they're full bottle worthy. So if that's something you're interested in, please keep watching. I found 6 different Mugler fragrances that I've been trying out over the course of a few weeks, sampling them and seeing which ones I like and which ones I might not like as much, and seeing which ones are full bottle worthy. I know that the Mugler fragrances tend to be very polarizing. There are people who absolutely love them and people who absolutely hate them. So I wanted to try for myself and see which ones I liked and which ones I didn't. I've tried Angel and Alien in stores, and I find that I much prefer Alien to Angel. So most of these fragrances are along the Alien line. So let's just begin. I wanted to start with my one Angel one. This is Angel Muse. On Grantica, the main accords are woody, sweet, patchouli, nutty, earthy, warm, spicy, aromatic, chocolate, balsamic, and citrus. The top notes are pink pepper, grapefruit, middle notes of hazelnut, cocoa spread, base notes of patchouli, and vetiver. This is a very, very popular fragrance here on YouTube, and I definitely see why. I find this fragrance to be really nice, earthy chocolate fragrance. I actually was surprised to find that it was not nearly as cloying as I had anticipated it being. I really anticipated not liking this fragrance. In fact, I don't think I'm a big fan of chocolate fragrances. Back when I was much younger, and my sister was just in grade school, she went to a perfume place at an outlet mall, and she bought this huge bottle of chocolate fragrance, and it smelled like she doused herself in Hershey's syrup every day. So I tend not to like chocolate fragrances, but I actually found that I really enjoyed this fragrance. At first it pulled pretty medicinal on my skin, and it was a little spicy from the pink pepper, but that went away rather quickly, and I was left with this really nice scent bubble of this kind of earthy chocolate scent. The mixture of that patchouli and the hazelnut spread, as well as I think the vetiver, kind of gave it more of a grounding rather than just being like a chocolate kind of fragrance. It did create a really nice scent bubble. However, I did find that if my hand was like right up against my skin, I could still sense a little bit of that medicinal quality, and I don't know exactly what that was coming from. The day I wore this, my daughter had a soccer practice, and so while I was outside, the wind was blowing, and I would get these really nice wafts of hazelnut cocoa spread, and it was really, really lovely. However, when my hand was closer to my skin, all I could smell was like this really dry vetiver smell, so I didn't love that so much. But once I got down to the really deep dry down, I really enjoyed this fragrance. So I kind of went back and forth. There were parts of it that I didn't love, but there were parts that I also really did love, and I think it was more of a love than a dislike for me, so I actually think this might be something that is full bottle worthy for me down the line. Next I have Aura by Mugler. So the main accords are green, woody, vanilla, sweet, fruity, aromatic, white floral, citrus, and powdery. The top notes are rhubarb leaf and bergamot. Middle notes, orange blossom, ylang ylang, pear, and green notes. Base notes are bourbon, vanilla, woody notes, amberwood, sandalwood, and coumarin. I know this is also a very polarizing fragrance. In fact, of the Mugler fragrances, I find this one, from watching reviews and stuff or reading reviews on Grantica, might be one of the most polarizing fragrances. In fact, I would say that there are probably more people who dislike this fragrance than like this fragrance. However, I really loved this fragrance, like a lot. So I found this fragrance to be really nice and fresh and quite green. It opens up with a slight tangy fruitiness from the rhubarb, and the bergamot, I think, helps that. Now, it is really green, but I think of it in the best way. There are green fragrances that I haven't cared for in the past, but this one is one that I actually really, really enjoyed. I loved it from the very opening. However, if I had my hand pressed like to my skin, I'd almost get this dentist office smell. It wasn't quite a medicinal smell, but something about it smelled like the dentist office. However, when it wafted in the air, you got this really light, juicy, sweet scent. I think that juiciness maybe comes from the pear, and it had that really lovely orange blossom. It's really hard for me to describe, but I really love the scent. This was just a really happy, uplifting and energizing fragrance. This is what I wished L'Imperatrice would have been for me. L'Imperatrice went like really like old, overripe fruits on my skin, but this one didn't. It still had that like nice tart rhubarb in it, and it had that juicy fruitiness that I wanted in a fragrance, but this one is just so much better, and I really can't wait to get this in my collection. I'm pretty sure it's been discontinued, so I'll have to snatch it up pretty soon. So I'm hoping it's still around by the end of my no buy, because I would really love to get this in my collection. Next we have Alien Eau Sublime. So on for Grantica it says it's a white floral, citrus, powdery, amber, vanilla, woody, sweet, floral, and aromatic. The top notes are lemon, solar notes, orange, mandarin orange, and galbanum. Middle notes of jasmine, tiare, flower, orange blossom, heliotrope, and cherry blossom. Base notes of cashmere and white amber, vanilla, and vetiver. So I really do enjoy heliotrope, and I really enjoy cherry blossom, and the solar note sounded really interesting, and the orange and mandarin orange sounded really great. Also love cashmere. I just thought this was going to be a fragrance I really enjoyed. However, it smelled minty or something like really refreshing in the opening in a way that like I was not expecting, nor did I really care for. I was really struggling with this scent the whole time I wore it. I really enjoyed it, but it also like really bothered me and I couldn't quite place it. And then I realized to my nose, this smells a lot like Lolita Land, to the point where I almost think they're like the same kind of fragrance. It like brought me right back to what Lolita Land reminds me of, and that's like this local pet shop that burns this giant candle there, and it makes the pet shop smell really great. It like takes away all that animal smell, but it reminds me of this pet store that still sells these like sad little puppies and stuff. So for me, this is just like not a fragrance that I really care for that much. Like I like it, but there's a part of me that just doesn't like it. There's like that gnawing thing at the back of my head that's always like reminded me of something else. And so that to me is like really bothersome. I don't know. It's not necessarily the worst scent memory. We'd often take our girls there to look at the cute little animals and stuff, but it's just something that like I don't want to smell like. So anyways, unfortunately for me, I kind of like this scent. There's just something that just bothers me about it. Next, I have Alien Eau Extraordinaire. The main accords are citrus, white floral, fresh, spicy, powdery, woody, green, amber, sweet, aromatic, and musky. Top notes are bergamot tea, Tunisian neroli, lemon, lime, orange. Middle notes of tiare flower, orange blossom, heliotrope, pepper, and ylang ylang. Base notes of white amber, cashmere, vanilla, sandalwood, and white musk. This was a really nice, light, fresh fragrance. To me, this came off as this kind of green, fresh fragrance. When I first smelled it, it reminded me of Hugo Boss Woman, which is a little fragrance I bought at Nordstrom Rack, and maybe a little bit like Marc Jacobs Dot. It was somewhere in between those. It has like a similar kind of green, fruity quality to it. I don't exactly know what that's from. I found that like light green note went really well with this smooth, like soothing kind of tea scent. In the mid, it smelled a little tropical. I think that's from the tiare flower and the ylang ylang. I think it made it really smell quite lovely with that tropical kind of vibe. The base is actually quite cozy and calm. However, as I continue to wear it, while I liked it and I thought it was really beautiful, I just kind of had that feeling that like it was not a fragrance for me. I couldn't tell you exactly why, but it was just a fragrance that it didn't feel like it suited me right. It's very lovely, and I think it would be beautiful on a lot of people, and I think it would be full bottle worthy. There's just something about it that I just couldn't help but feel like this is not a fragrance that reminds me of myself. It's not something that I'd want other people associating with me. And it's still beautiful. I don't know exactly why, but there's something about it that even while I was wearing it, I just didn't feel like myself. Next we have Alien Flora Futura. It is white floral, citrus, woody, amber, powdery, and soft spicy. The top notes are citron and Buddha wood. Middle notes of night bloom, mean serious, white amber, and sandalwood. So I really liked the uniqueness of that citron and the Buddha wood. There was something about it that smelled really nice, but it just didn't grab me the way I was really hoping it would. There was something peppery about it that I think came from that Night Blooming Cereus. I couldn't be sure of that, but that kind of gave me this like peppery vibe. I actually found that I like this a lot more on my clothes than I did on my skin. On my clothes, it was this light, refreshing, like juicy kind of citrus smell with like a woody undertone. But on my skin, this actually smelled like this peppery soap smell. It smelled kind of old and dry, and it just was not a fragrance that I was hoping for at all. I think if I only sprayed my clothes, then I think I would like this. However, the time of year I would typically think of wearing this would probably be in the summer, where I'm like wearing t-shirts and tank tops. So to only limit it to my clothes seems rather silly. So it's a fragrance I'll probably pass on, but I did like it on my clothes. Last, I have Alien Musk Mysterio. Its main accords are musky, warm, spicy, powdery, white floral, woody, vanilla, amber, and leather. The top notes are spices and saffron. Middle notes of jasmine, sambac, and cashmere. Base notes of white musk and vanilla. This scent was actually quite lovely from the very beginning. I really liked it. It was a spicy floral, but it still had that kind of that same thing as like Oh Sublime as well as Lolita Land had, that was just a little bothersome to me. So unfortunately, while I did really like the opening, as it continued to wear, it smelled more and more like that pet store with a candle did. So it's just not a fragrance that I'll be picking up, but I did really like it. So of these fragrances, the ones that I'm really interested in picking up are Angel, Muse, and Aura. I found that for one reason or another, I just didn't care for any of the other Alien flankers. I do actually find that I enjoy Alien, but it's not one that I feel pressed to pick up in my collection. I think maybe one day I will, but it's kind of been a staple for so long. I kind of keep pushing it back at the back of my list because I feel like there are other fragrances that I should pick up now, and I kind of rely on the fact that I think Alien will probably be around for a very long time. So anyhow, those were the fragrances that I felt like were full bottle worthy from the Mugler fragrances. If you have any recommendation for other Mugler fragrances or just any other fragrances in general that you think I might like, I'd love it if you would comment those down below. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I really hope you have a blessed day. Bye.